What is going on, Jerome's? Made it to this beautiful, glorious Friday. Sun is shining, birds are chirping and stuff, and it's time for another Vikings news dump. He sees you when you're pooping. So, a couple things going on as the Vikings finish out the string. Minuscule, un poquito chance for making the playoffs, but it is what it is, and I'm excited to see the Vikings play some ball on Sunday. And win, lose, draw, whatever. I would prefer that they'd win. Would be great if they lit things up too and all that stuff. And I understand, it's like, well, if they win, they could get in the top 10. Several things need to go right. Like, they have a very similar chance of getting the number 9 pick as they do making the playoffs. Maybe a little bit better, but anyways, what is also happening is Dalvin Cook's going to be playing in the playoffs, man. So Adam Schefter, ESPN Go. 4-time Pro Bowl running back Dalvin Cook will sign for the playoffs with the Baltimore Ravens per his agency. The Jets paid Cook $6.8 million this season, and now will get a chance to pursue a Super Bowl appearance with the Ravens. And yeah, Dalvin was asked, thank you, but I mean, respect to him and his agent. They got the bag from the Jets. He was backing up Breece Hall. Didn't get a lot of work, so wasn't Pelissero spinning it? He'll be able to contribute because he's fresh. But I actually do think that Dalvin in the Ravens backfield could provide a little something. I mean, Keaton Mitchell got hurt, as well as you got Gus Bus, etc. I mean, Melvin Gordon's getting carries in that backfield. So Dalvin would love to see him get a ring. It would be akin to when the Ravens won, and it was like Matt Burke and Brian McKinney, I believe. Might have been another Viking on there too. But rooting for Dalvin. Things didn't work out great here at the end with the Vikings, and Kwesi did make the correct move, moving on versus paying him $10.4 million. But it is what it is, and great art from our guy Eli Corbett. Yeah, he's not getting 4 with the Ravens because their guy Zay Flowers certainly has Quattro on lock in Baltimore, and I like ball. I think Baltimore could just blow teams out all the next 3 games. There you go. Something that the Vikings need to improve on is it just felt like all season the only guy getting a consistent pass rush was Danielle Hunter. The Vikings weren't getting anything from the inside. And yeah, it was great when Metellus and guys like Ivan Pace Jr. and DJ Wanham were getting some. But the defensive line and especially the defensive interior was this year. Vikes fan page go. The Vikings have the lowest pass rush win rate among interior defensive lines in the NFL this season, 8.6%. So every 8.6, every 100 snaps. Nailed it. The Vikings are only getting heat at 8.6 of them, which is not great. The next lowest is 11.1, so they're the worst by far, and that's via Brett Coleman. So, I mean, part of it is like, yes, Harrison Phillips is a stud, but he can't do it alone, especially when he's not playing out of position. And when you went into the season with your starting 4-5 techs as Dean Lowry and Jonathan Bullard, I don't know, man. Like, Lowry was washed, and Bullard's solid against a run. You don't get much as a pass rusher, and I mean, Asazio Tomowo was let go. Jaquelin Roy didn't get the time of day, and the Vikings were just they didn't have dudes up front, and both getting the passer as well as stopping the run, the Vikings were just very inert up front this year. So that's something that low key. Beyond quarterback, I actually think is the Vikings' biggest need heading into the offseason. Also, a need is, are the Vikings going to be able to hang on to some of their coordinators? So Tom Pelissero put this out. As the hiring cycle approaches, this is interesting. The NFL Players Association, the NFLPA has done very good things with polls this year. Asked over 1,700 players to rate the coordinators they play for on a scale of 1 to 10. Here are the top 5 at each spot, including the number 1 overall vote getter, Aaron Glenn of the Lions. So again, 1,700 players to rate the coordinators that they play for. So not play against guys that they play for. So good locker room guys. Are going to get some props. Guys love playing for Aaron Glenn with the Lions. DQ of the Cowboys always is huge. Steve Wilkes. I mean, Steve Wilkes should have got the Panthers job last year, but of course, David Tepper's an idiot. Raheem Morris getting some love. He was also interviewing for the Vikings job. And Flores, Flo at 4. So I think that Flores is going to get a head coaching job. I think that he's going to find the right spot for him. And props. I mean, Flores talked about how I mean, Flores actually got a little bit emotional talking about the team this year and how far they've come and what they've done. Even the last couple of games haven't been great. And again, I would love to keep him, but he definitely deserves another head coaching job. And also, Matt Daniels checking in at 3, which whenever you listen to a Matt Daniels Coach Hat press conference, he's always hyped. He's always positive, and overall special teams has been pretty solid this year. Now, Ryan Wright could do a little bit better, sure, but the coverage unit, especially guys like Najee Thompson, has been fantastic this year, and you can see why. I mean, players love playing for him, as well as you look at the company that he's in with this. So John Bones Fossil of the Cowboys, formerly of the Rams, been around the league. Jim Fossil's kid, he's regarded as one of the best special teams coordinators out there, man. Same thing with Chris Tabor, Dave Phipp, and Darren Rizzi are studs too. Plus, I mean, you don't even have guys like Dave Tube on here. So Matt Daniels, the fact that he's this high amongst these dudes, it's fantastic, man. And I actually do think that Matt Daniels will be a head coach someday. Following the John Harbaugh route, going from special teams coordinator, although he was DB coach for a second with the Eagles, I believe, before he got the Ravens job. And also with Flores, this is from Vikes fan page. According to CBS Sports, Vikings DC Brian Flores is the numero uno head coach candidate in the 2024 offseason. A short write-up on why. Flores' ability to maximize certain talent, which he's done in Minnesota, keeping the injury-riddled Vikings in the playoff picture much longer than expected. So basically made chicken salad out of chicken bleep. But I don't know, number one, I didn't see the list, but I feel like Ben Johnson is supposedly the cat's ass everywhere. And it's an offensive league, and generally teams are looking for offensive-minded head coaches, but who knows with Flo. I actually do think that his experience, previous experience with the Dolphins will actually benefit him as opposed to being held against them. And I think that Flores definitely deserves another shot at this, and maybe he'll get it, maybe he won't, who knows. Something I do know is that NFL Street is back, baby. So NFL Street is this video arcade adjacent type game. It's not quite NFL Blitz, but it's still pretty damn good. They did up mock-ups of all these all the stadiums that is more in line with the team name as well as the location. So this is beautiful. Is this Mississippi or the St. Croix? It's looking good. Actually, I would love a riverfront stadium. That'd be really damn legit, man. But the Viking Stadium, it's very flat. There's no 200 level. What's the capacity on the stadium? 20K? This looks like a Texas high school stadium. But either way. Also, not gonna lie, I could get down with the purple turf. Purple turf. I know that Boise State OG pioneers with the Smurf turf, and then you've had teams copy. So Eastern Michigan has that really funky off gray, where every time you watch an Eastern Michigan home game on Tuesday night action, you feel like you had a stroke. It's oh wait, that's how the turf looks. Eastern Washington EW in Spokane, powerful Spokane, has red turf, looks really good. But also I would love again, so if we put the stadium on the river, it could be like the Tennessee Volunteers that have the Volunteer Navy, where Nyland Stadium is right on, is it a lake or a river? It doesn't matter. It's on a body of water. Well, it's got to be a river, right? Because lake, then you'd have to put probably a river. So then, if you're going to tailgate, you just float your boat up. That would be so great in the great state of Minnesota. Although, I mean, it would become moot late in the season. I mean, hell, if the Twins build their stadium on the river, like in Pittsburgh, that'd be great. That'd be legit, man. Oh, or let's San Francisco, McCovey Cove. Hell yeah. Anyways, purple turf. Yeah, remove the slit surface turf and go purple. Yeah, go ahead. Why not? Also go ahead is PUK Anda, the pride of BYU, who Jaron Hall made in Provo, by the way. But PUK Anda is having so first off, fantasy football hero, was on waivers most of the leagues, and I think he's legit. I think this is replicable. I think that he is going to be a stud in this league, and he's putting up huge numbers with Matthew Stafford. Cooper Kupp has sort of taken a back seat. He's been dinged up, but respect. And he is approaching record-setting territory. Now, he can surpass the all-time record of Bill Groman set back in 1960. Now, it's amazing. I believe he set that in a 14-game season, so it's great. Chase in 2021, that also had 17 games, 1455. Puka right now has 1445, and also, the Rams and the Niners are going to be completely checked out because both teams are locked into their playoff positions. But I want Puka to, maybe just play a little, just get the record, man. But now the worst thing is that JJ. So JJ got this in the last season of the 16-game season, and also you remember his rookie year, he basically didn't play his first 2 games. Like he got some marginal run, he didn't start. Norv. When wasn't Norv, but the Kubiai and Zimmer were just like, BC Johnson's better than JJ. Yeah, please. Rookie's got to earn his stripes and earn his place. So stupid. No, sorry, it was Norv and Zimmer who held back Stephon Diggs, who was a healthy scratch the first 3 games of his career. And then the 4th game in Denver against like Aqib Talib, like prime Aqib Talib, and Diggs ate his lunch. Just so stupid. Oh, you got to earn your spot. How about we win some games? Yeah. But also impressive. Like Bolden back in 03, putting up 1377 in a 16-game season. That was great too. Also great is John frickin' Randle. All right, so John Randle is one of my favorite Vikings of all time. He's easily in the top 5. And also, so I occasionally go through my top 5, and sometimes it vacillates. So, but it's usually Moss at 1, Carter 2. John Randle 3, Jared Allen 4, Winfield Sr. at 4, and then Everson and Jared Allen at 5. Sometimes that rotates through. People got so mad. Like when I talked about it last time, they're like, how come Adrian Peterson isn't in your top 5? I don't know, because he's 7. It's ridiculous, man. But for me, John Randle, the pride of Texas A&I, Kingsville, undrafted free agent, was originally going to sign with the Bucks with his brother. And they wanted him to play linebacker, and then he came here to the great state of Minnesota, and woo. That's right, just getting it, man. Undersized 3-tech 6-footers for life, and he was great, man. So Bruce Smith was talking about his top 5 pass rushers in NFL history. Now, I feel like he cheated a little bit because he named 7. But Julius Peppers, who... Julius Peppers gets slept on in terms of being an absolute freak athlete because he was good enough to play in the NBA because he played both football and college basketball at UNC. Number 1 overall pick in the NFL. Hall of Famer. Absolutely. Kevin Green, rest in power. Derek Thomas, rest in power. 2 fantastic outside linebackers, which were just freakishly good for a number of years. John Randle, completely transformed. Actually... I was going to say he transformed the inside pass rush, except not really, because it's been very few and far between you've seen 3-techs or under tackles like John Randle. Like, you have to go to Aaron Donald to find the next guy. So you could say it's like Randy Moss. You could say Randy Moss changed the game, except there hasn't been another Randy Moss. I feel like the closest thing, again, people are going to get mad, is like, well, what about Julio Jones? What about Megatron? I'm talking about stylistically, just the run, go up and get it type guy. Who got, like AJ Green? Maybe? Sure. Yeah. But John Randle, what he did in terms of, because you look at the all-time sack list, and John Randle is the only defensive tackle on there. Deacon Jones off the edge. Also, that's crazy, like Deacon Jones back in the day, where they would literally talk about, hey, what you do is you got to go up to that offensive tackle and just slap him in the head. And he's going to get fuzzy, and throughout the game, all those head slaps will add up. It's just... like, we're talking about like concussion protocol and independent spotters now, and you got dudes like it was common practice back in the day. So they would literally put casts on their hands, and then they would just like hit the other dude in the helmet. That's insane. Like it's very morbid and sad when you think about it. But those were the tactics back in the day. Reggie White. So even though Reggie White was a stupid Packer, I respect him, number 1, because he was the first major free agent signing when NFL free agency opened up in 92. Also, he was a stupid Eagle, too. I'll just remember Memphis Showboats and Carolina Panthers Reggie White. That's the only teams that I'll remember for him. But, just watching like Reggie White tape where you got this guy, And you think of like edge rushers nowadays. You think of guys who are jacked and stacked, like like Danielle Hunter. But I mean, Reggie White was built like a refrigerator, and he was country strong, and he would literally with that hump move, which you don't really see it anymore. Like you see it sparingly, but that was Reggie White's go-to, where he would literally take a grown-ass man, an offensive tackle, 6'7", 300 pounds, and with one arm, just like toss him out of the way. That's great. That's great, man. Stupid Packer, but that's great. Also, Bruce Smith similarly built, where he was built like a refrigerator, and he just got after, man. 200 sacks. I don't know if 200 sacks is going to be topped, because there's something with. First off, Bruce Smith was one of the best edge rushers of his era. Also, he played for a long time. Also, yeah, he hammered those checks in Washington from Daniel Snyder too. But I don't know, like I feel like careers are actually shorter now. And even though there's an extra game, I actually feel like that could potentially shorten careers, but who knows? But yeah, I'd love to see that Bruce Smith, who knows a thing or two about pass rushing, recognizes John Randle. Wow, I rambled on there. Anyways, also, so I fully understand that the Vikings are very solid at wide receiver. I mean, you got JJ, you got Addison, maybe KJ will be back, maybe Jalen Naylor will be in there. Who knows? But what if I told you there was a 6'6" dude on the outside? Oh, speaking of Randy Moss changing the game, how about a 6'6" version of Randy Moss who was just as fast and a guy who could fly? Like every single 50-50 jump ball, we'll just toss it up and go get it. Oh, this is Michael Jordan, by the way. I know people are going to be confused. But this is MJ from PUK Anda. Yeah, I always wonder, too. So, MJ, greatest basketball player of all time. It's not open for a debate. But also, you look at like LeBron's high school football highlights, where, I mean, he played high school football in Ohio. That's a big deal. He played through, I believe, his sophomore year, maybe freshman year. But, I mean, even as like a sophomore freshman, he was like 6'4", 6'5". He was playing tight end receiver, just like, whatever. It was great, man. It was great. I don't know what we accomplished, but we had fun. It's a beautiful Friday. You know what to do. But your thoughts are thoughts. Let us know in the comment section below. Subscribe for daily Vikings takes. Want to support the work? Put a little something in the Venmo. But till next time, Skol. Production value.